welcome to Hope and Truth. I'm Lance Parvin. With me today, Lance Daniels. As always, we are here to renew hope and strengthen your faith in the Lord. Now, Lance,
yes, sir.
You were here a few months ago.
Right.
Interesting story. I wanted to have Lance back because every now and then we do follow up all the time with people. But to remind people, why don't you tell them just kind of a brief synopsis of your story? You know, the stroke, car accident. Brief synopsis.
Okay. Well, back in 1989, June 28th, on a Tuesday morning at 2 a.m., I was in a car accident. The brakes gave out on me. The master cylinder was busted. So from that, I was paralyzed for about 3 to 4 years. And when you speed the process up to 2007, when I'm 37, you know, that's when I was diagnosed with pituitary tumor. And they said it was due to the accident from throwing me around. So, okay. So, the last time I took an MRI was in June of 2015. So I'm praying to God, please let this thing be 12 millimeters so they can take it out. So the last time we checked, it was 10 millimeters. So now I have an appointment. I go on January 27th, 2017.
I want to catch up for you again.
Okay.
I don't want to tell the results yet. Now, you're back a few months ago. You had a
Right.
stroke. When did you have a stroke?
I had the stroke April 24th, 2007.
Now, from the stroke, you had a pain stimulator installed.
Right.
To help kind of
Spinal cord stimulator.
spinal cord stimulator.
Right.
You were taking a few different meds. How's that working out for you?
Well, the first time I got the spinal cord stimulator was in like January of 2012. After about 14 months, it wasn't doing what it's supposed to do, so they took it out. Then we speed up to 2016, February the 10th, they put another one in, and they said, oh, this one really works, it's more effective and everything, but it didn't work. You know, I lost weight, my skin got dark, and I'm like, I was introduced to Lance, and I told him all my symptoms, and he was like, you need to take it out. You need to take it out. So I took it out.
It didn't sound like it was helping.
No,
I'm
it
not a
wasn't
doctor.
No, it wasn't helping.
But, you know, the causation of you losing a tremendous amount of weight from that, the body tended to be rejecting it. So,
Right.
took it out, started feeling...
So I felt good. You know.
All right.
So I started taking the cannabis oil, and I started in March of 2016. And of course, I was totally against it because of, you know, my background, being raised in church, my mom's being a pastor. But Lance told me, he said, if you don't like it, then you don't have to use it, but just try it. So he gave me two kinds. He gave me honey, coconut. So the coconut was more effective to me. So I told him I'd take the coconut. So after a month, I started running upstairs. I wasn't feeling as bad as I used to feel. I'm like, this pill do all of that? I'm like, this is something else. So I told Lance, I said, hey, it's really working. It's really working. So now, to go into the story about my tumor in my pituitary gland. So here it is, January 27th. I show up at the MRI place. There's a guy sitting across there. I'm sitting here. So he's sitting, he playing on his phone. He said, hey, what's your name? I said, LD. He said, what does that stand for? I said, Lance Daniels. He said, oh, I'm Andy. I said, oh, nice to meet you, Andy. All right. He said, well, what you in here for? I said, you know, I got diagnosed of a tumor in my pituitary gland back in 2007 in April. I said, but it could have been there longer. He said, oh, really? He said, so you trying to get it taken out or something? I said, well, the last time we checked, it was 10 millimeters. That was back in June of 2015. I said, so I'm praying that it's 12 millimeters so they can take it out. I said, there's two ways they can do it. They can cut me right here, or you can go through my nose. And I said, no, they ain't gonna cut me right there. He said, all right. He said, well, can I pray for you? I said, yeah, sure. So he's over there, I'm over here, and he started doing this. His face turned red, his hands turned red. He did that for about 3 to 4 minutes. So he said, okay, Mr. Daniels, you no longer have the tumor. And I said, oh, okay. Well, thank you. So now it's time for me to go to the back. I go to the back. I'm back there about an hour and 45 minutes. So it's my time to get up, to come out of the back. Now he's coming to the back to get whatever he was there for. So he grabbed me by the shoulder while he had the little hospital apron on. And he said, Mr. Daniels, remember, you no longer have the tumor. And I'm like, okay, well, thanks a lot, Andy. So now I'm going to sign out at the desk. You have the receptionist, you have the doctor, and you have the nurse. They said, Mr. Daniels, wouldn't that be amazing if your tumor could be gone like that? I said, oh, you don't know the half of it. I said, well, I hope it's 12 millimeters so I can get this thing taken out. So they was like, yeah, don't pay him no mind. He's kind of crazy. I said, okay. So now, here it is. It was on that Friday when I was there. Now here it is Tuesday, like 7:30 in the evening. My phone said, endocrinologist. And I'm like, why are they calling me? So I like, hello? I said, hi, Mr. Daniels, this is Dr. So-and-so. And I said, okay. So in my mind, I'm thinking, man, this tumor turned to cancer. But she going around the subject. She said, well, Mr. Daniels, your testosterone is real low. I said, well, how low is it? She said, you don't have none. I said, I don't have no testosterone. She said, yeah, I don't understand how you getting up, going to work. She said, you can have a stroke, you can have a heart attack. So we have to get you on the shot immediately. And I said, well, I don't want to be on that shot. I want to get the pellet shot. And it's a bioidentical hormone testosterone shot. So, to give you a little pill, they implant it in your buttocks. Every 10 weeks, you're going to get another one. So we got through that subject. And I said, hey, what about the tumor? Is it 12 millimeters yet? She said, yeah, and about the tumor, she said, now, before I called you, I checked with my colleagues. I got different opinions from other doctors. And we went over this really well. And I'm like, okay, now my hand's sweating, my heart is beating fast. I'm like, they're going to tell me I got cancer. This thing turned to cancer. So I said, well, is it big enough to take out? And she said, like I said, we before we called you, we talked to other people. We got different opinions and everything. And I'm like, okay, but so how big is it? She said, Mr. Daniels, you no longer have the tumor. I said, wait a minute. The last time I checked, it was 10 millimeters, almost the size of a quarter. Now you telling me I don't have the tumor? I said, where'd it go? Well, I don't know, that's why we check with our colleagues, we check with other doctors, get other opinions, but you don't have the tumor anymore. And she said, well, the only way I can describe to you, she said, your pituitary gland is in the middle of your forehead. She said, you have a vessel on one side, and you have another vessel on the other side. She said, on one side, you see the vessel. On the other side, it's just an empty space. It's gray. So I was like, it's gray. She said, don't you have your DVD? I said, yeah. I said, I never watched it. She said, well, when you get a chance, go watch it. So I get off the phone with her, pop the DVD in, and I'm looking, and I'm like, wow. It's just an open space, gray. No tumor or nothing. Now, before I saw this, I had old films from the last tumor. And it's the size of a pecan. You can see it. So now I'm looking at it, and it's empty. Nothing is there. So I'm like, wow. It was late. I didn't want to call Lance. So the first person I called was my mother. And my mom's a pastor. And she said, so you don't have it? Well, praise the Lord. Ain't God good? I said, yeah, Mom, God good. So I text Lance and I tell him, look, you need to call me. I have some awesome news. So now, some people in Houston, they want me to come on a radio station. And they said, you need to find that guy, Andy. I said, okay, I'll find him. So I goes back to the MRI place, and it's a different lady there. And I said, hey, how you doing? I said, I was here on January 27th. I had MRI done. And I said, there was a guy here named Andy, and I need you to forward my information over to him. So she said, well, what you need with Andy? So, I'm standing. I said, well, he prayed for me. She said, okay. She's just looking at me weird. She said, okay. And I said, well, he told me I no longer had the tumor. And I said, I got the results back, and I don't have the tumor. So this radio station they want to fly us to Houston so we can be on the radio station. So she said, okay, wait a minute. So she sat down at the computer, she got her mouse. She said, January 27th. And what time you come in? I said, I had to be here at 4:45. She said, okay. She said, and his name is? I said, his first name is Andy. She said, I don't see nobody named Andy. I said, no. I said, he was here the same time I was here. His name is Andy. And she said, so you want us to contact him so he can call you? I said, yeah, I want him to know that I don't have the tumor no more. So she looked at me, she was like, she said, well, Mr. Daniels, you was the only person scheduled that night. I said, no. I said, the guy sat right here. And I said, his name Andy. I said, go ask the other lady. So she got up. She went back to the back. And the lady looked over. She said, oh, hey, Mr. Daniels. I said, yeah, she'll know. She said, he said, Mr. Daniels said it was a guy here. And after he came out, Andy went back. And she was like, no, he was the last patient for that day. So now, they at the window, now I'm standing here at the reception window. And said, Mr. Daniels, we can't find no Andy. I'm like, you can't find no Andy? I said, he was there. I said, remember when I came back and he grabbed my shoulder and he said, Mr. Daniels, you no longer have the tumor. And you started laughing, the doctor started laughing, the receptionist. I said, you don't remember that? And y'all said, hey, it'd be awesome if you don't have the tumor. And they looked at me, it's like, she was like, no, I don't remember that. So now, I'm looking like a crazy man. I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, he sat right here. And I said, you don't remember him? She said, Mr. Daniels, you was the last person scheduled that night. I said, So I left and I got in the car. I'm like, I know that guy was sitting right there. And they can't find him. He's nowhere in the record, nowhere on the computer. So, what I'm here today to tell you, if you don't believe in miracles, you got to start back trusting God and have faith. Because this body is 47. I may look like I have no problem. I may look like I'm healthy, but I got screws here. I got screws here. These legs was paralyzed. I got a big scar here. They took my spleen out. I've been paralyzed before. I done had a stroke. I don't have no testosterone. I can have a heart attack or a stroke, but I'm still here. So what I'm here today to tell you, trust in God, believe in God. He still works miracles. He might don't come when you want him, but he always on time. And that's pretty much what I have to say. Give all your faith and all your glory to God. And trust me, he will work a miracle for you. And I'm a living proof. I used to be 360 pounds. And I didn't go have surgery. I went to the gym because I didn't want to have the excess meat hanging. So I did all of that. And when I told people, I'm going to lose the weight, they're like, okay. And then I lost the weight. I always tell people, I'm going to walk again. Okay. When I had the stroke, it left my whole left side paralyzed. So when I walked, I dragged my leg. My arm was heavy. And I was like, I got to get back to being me. So I was determined. But most of all, I trust in God. 100%. Sometimes I got disencouraged. Sometimes I wanted to give up. But you look at me today, and the reason I'm here today because I didn't give up. I gave it to God, and he took care of it. He took care of it 100%. Now, I know this world is crazy, people's dying, everything, but if you have a little inkling of trust and faith and belief in God, if you just give a little bit more, you can have a miracle. See, what God does, he tests your faith. He tests your belief. He want to see how strong you are. Are you going to give up? Are you really going to trust him to work it out? And some of y'all give up because it look like and seems like there's no way out. But you got to pray when you get disencouraged, pick up your Bible. Read a scripture. Just open it up to the first page. And God can be telling you something on that page. Just don't give up. I'm a living testimony. They said I could never have kids. I have kids. They say I would never walk. And if I can walk, if I will walk, they say I always have a limp. I don't have a limp. I have kids. I even have grandkids. And this is what the doctor said. So if you're in pain and you're losing faith and you're giving up, just try God. Try the cannabis. Because people ask me, do you think it was the cannabis, or do you think it was the miracle of God? Well, God makes the plant. He the one made cannabis. And that's his doing. It's not man-made, mankind. This is a pill that God created from a plant. But they don't want people to know that. So it could be the pill did this, take the tumor away, or it can be just the faith and all the trust and the hope and belief that I have in God. Because I'm supposed to have been dead ever since June 28, 1989. Now, we speed it up to 28 years later, I'm still here. And that's because I'm determined. I will not give up. I have too much faith, and I believe in God 100%. And I'm a true believer, and I'm a true testimony. So if you don't believe anybody else, believe me. Read my story. Hear my story. Because I've been through it all. And it looks like I haven't been through nothing.
And your faith is what made you better.
Yeah, my faith
That's
made
what
me
it is.
better.
The amazing thing is this, is that when people see miracles, it's tough. Some people that, who are meant to see this and hear it will do just that. The key thing is this, the other interesting thing is Lance is no longer taking the pill. That's the interesting thing. And even on the wean down phase, when you were taking it every day,
Right.
then it went down to 3 times a week. And then throughout that process, so when people say, well, maybe that's what dissolved the tumor, I'm like, is that right? I can go with that. Well, how was he walking around with no testosterone? I'm just saying. I don't understand the human body. None of us do. We didn't make it. That's just something to think about. So I want to thank you for coming by. How can people reach you? What's the best way to email us?
You can reach me at lancedaniels1970@gmail.com, or you can reach me at 702-945-6212.
Make sure you're emailing him and not me. Two Lances. Don't
Two
get us
Lances.
confused. Come on.
Yeah.
I want to thank you again for coming by.
I appreciate it.
Until
Thank you
next
for
time.
having me.
Of course. Until next time, stay close to Jesus Christ. I'm Lance Parvin. We'll see you next time on Hope and the Truth.